We're at it again. Episode 4.
Woohoo!
I'm having a blast.
I am too. This is
I'm
awesome.
liking this. Even if nobody listens to it, it's
We love giving our opinion.
it's cathartic.
It is. Talking it over.
I can sit around and mouth off, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You're going to do it too.
Exactly.
I'm not,
We do it anyway. Now we're just recording it.
I'm not alone. It's so amazing. So today's episode is so many assholes.
There are so many assholes.
The world is full of assholes.
We can all be assholes.
I am an asshole.
I'm not usually. It can be.
I come from a long line of assholes. My proud heritage.
Oh, that's okay.
So let's just jump right into it. So the first story comes from, again, AITAH.
Imagine that.
Favorite. They speak to me.
They do.
It says, am I the asshole for being upset on my birthday?
Probably not, but let's hear it.
Throwaway account because my girlfriend follows my main. Context, my girlfriend, 29 female, and I, female, 28, have been dating for 5 years. We work a lot, so we have really busy lifestyles. My birthday is tomorrow. Today I left work early and went to the mall to look for a good Valentine's gift for her because I know the next weeks are going to look crazy for me and I won't have time to buy something for her. I texted her that I was at the mall. She replied with, "Oh, cool, why don't you buy yourself something for your birthday too? I'll transfer you the money tonight." At first I thought she was joking, but then she made it clear she wasn't able to get me anything, so buying my own gift was the best idea. Since, I was already at the mall, I was in shock. Well, not shocked, but yeah, surprised, not in a good way. I told her I'd rather not receive anything than buying my own gift and having money transferred to me. If I want something, I'll just buy it with my money. She got angry at me and told me that it's incredible how I can be so selfish and not understand that she's busy. I told her it's not even the act of receiving a gift. It's the act of knowing that she spent 10 minutes of her day thinking about something I would like for my birthday. Even a handwritten note would work. Also, I feel that it literally takes one bathroom break to buy something off Amazon. I feel we've been dating for so long now that she's stopped trying. I feel I've been putting so much work in, and I'm not receiving the same effort lately. I'm sad, and I don't even want to see how mad she's going to be when she gets home tonight. I am here sitting thinking that maybe I'm the asshole for not complying with her solution, and maybe I'm feeling like I am indeed selfish. What do you guys think?
Not selfish. I am a huge, huge supporter of it's the thought that counts. It doesn't matter how much money, if any, you spent on it. You can go to the neighbor's garden and pick a flower for all I care. Handwritten note is perfect. She could get up in the middle of the night and say she's going to the bathroom and write it. Like, it's the thought behind it. I am totally on OP's side for this.
Gifts?
And I've been there. My first relationship, they didn't remember birthdays, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. It wasn't important to them. They literally told me it wasn't important to them. I would do homemade from scratch cakes and icing and foods and crafts and notes. And my appreciation was I told you not to do things like that and go sit down.
Thou shalt not waste cake.
It wasn't wasted. I ate it. It was damn good.
It wouldn't have been a waste if he smacked him with it either.
It was also in the shape of a heart. I thought I was very proud of myself.
I would have been absolutely proud of you. We could cut it in a zigzag like a broken heart and you'd be half and I'd be half. And then the kids are mad because we didn't share.
Too bad. Here's the heart band. Go make your own.
So for the next holiday that he ever decides he told you not to do something nice, bake his cake in the shape of a dick because that's what he's being.
Well, I didn't think about that. I didn't stand up for myself. It was more of a learning experience for both of us. I think we were very young.
Spicy enough.
I wasn't, and I was big pushover, and I had no self-esteem when I left that relationship. Oddly enough, the super abusive one is the one I got self-esteem.
You had to be a habanero with it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
But no, gifts are great. I love getting gifts. I love giving gifts. But it doesn't have to be some big, grand, expensive gesture. And this is another thing I've got trauma with. It seems like most of the gifts I was ever given, especially in my relationships, not from like mom or dad or whatever, but in my relationships, all the gifts I was given were always held over my head later. well, I did this for you, or I bought this for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but you make 3 times as much money as me. All I can do is bake you, a cake and make you your favorite meal.
That's not what it's about.
No.
It's never supposed to be
So,
about that.
No, OP is absolutely not the asshole. It does not take, well, like she said, it takes one bathroom break. None of us read shampoo bottles on the toilet anymore. We all doom scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Doom scroll on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And get her something cute.
And did it say how long they were together?
I think it said 5 years. Let me look.
Well,
Been dating for 5 years.
Okay, so either way, that is a common occurrence. People stop trying during relationships. I did not.
And that's how relationships fail.
And I didn't. I mean, I learned a lot from my relationships. I still won't. I take longer to get started now, I guess. But you have to keep going. Even it's the little things. It's not the big things. It's not the extravagant things. It's the little things that they come home from a hard day's work, or they've just had a bad day, or whatever. And you show that you care. You were thinking about them. It can be a clipping from a newspaper and a joke. It can be anything.
A meme. We can send memes these days.
I think that's overdone, especially with us, because we do that all day. But
I love my memes.
I do too. But you don't give up on the little things. You do the little things every once in a while.
When you start letting these little thoughts slide, that's when the big thoughts start sliding, and then the big events start sliding, and you start forgetting birthdays and anniversaries and all these important things.
Yeah.
These people that have been married for 50 years didn't stop doing the little things, even if it was the irritating little things.
Right.
I was in Petty Revenge the other day. I like that too.
See, there was a thing I seen, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was specific about you go on one day a week, you go on an outing every other month, or a vacation once a year, something.
Make time for each other.
It doesn't, you make sure that you give a chance to show each other you care.
If you are,
and you still think about them.
If you're too busy to spare a thought for your significant other, you've got bigger problems than your schedule.
Work-life balance is a real thing. Now, that is something I have learned, and that's part of the reason I don't work every day, because I could definitely do it and afford and need it. But I have a kid. You have a kid. We have to have time for our kids. We have to have time for family. You can't just monotonously zombie through your life and not do anything.
I work 6 days a week.
But you do things for your kids.
Even working 6 days a week for going on 7 years now. You cannot not make the little gestures. I mean, something as simple as I picked up a crappy card at a gas station. That
made me laugh, and I thought of you.
That little spinning rack of cards that they have at every damn gas station in the country. Or a stupid postcard thinking of you, XOXO. That's it. That's all it fucking takes. And if your significant other doesn't appreciate that, that's a whole nother problem. It's a whole nother set of issues.
Right.
But no, OP is absolutely not the asshole for being upset.
No, I'm completely with her. I've been there. We both have been there.
I've gotten the big extravagant gifts. I've gotten the convertible and the diamonds and all that. And
I really haven't.
The thought behind it wasn't right.
Right. And it is the thought behind it.
The thought behind it was leverage.
Yeah. And that's not meaningful at all.
And then it ended up having to sell it because some cunt caused me hell. It's all bad. So we jump into the comments, and the very first one says, "It's your party and you'll cry if you want to. Not the asshole. Find a better girlfriend."
There was a reason that song was created. I'm just saying.
It's my party. Oh.
It's probably a similar situation.
Y'all can't see us, but we're about 3 Irish coffees in. We're talkative.
Very much.
Might even do a little drunky-okie here in a minute.
Oh, my.
I might have already started.
You're ahead of the game.
I love being ahead of the game. I don't want to be behind. It smells bad back there.
Oh, God.
Okay, next comment. Wanting an effort to be made on your birthday does not make you selfish.
It doesn't. It's not selfish. And I am, if I really don't know what to get somebody, or if I really haven't had the time, a gift card. It's not a meaningful gift.
But
It's something. But just saying, well, I'll send you some money, get you something. I don't like that as a regular. It's not, then
as a one-off.
As a one-off, it's fine. But as a meaningful, intentive, I'm thinking of you, it's not.
Honestly, you could even make a gift card, something I was thinking of you-ish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I know you love this store. Like, it would be like me walking into Sephora. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get eyeliner to eyeline. I have no business in a Sephora. None whatsoever. I'm just going to stand outside and go, ooh, shiny, and then walk away. But like you're good at your makeup. You're good at this kind of stuff. I've seen your pictures. Don't even start that nonsense. But, I know that you enjoy that store, and I know that it's expensive to shop there. So for your birthday, I would get you a gift card, say, to Sephora, so you could replace the makeup of yours that's been destroyed by teenagers and dogs. That would still be meaningful because that's something you enjoy. That's someplace you would want to shop.
And thought it through.
And I have no business in there. I have no idea what I'm looking at. So, yes, I was raised by a single dad and a grandpa. I have a brother. Grandma was an amazing woman, but she didn't say a lot. So I am very dude-ish. I'm very dude-ish.
Very dude-ish. I was raised by a single mom and pretty much all females except my grandpa.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
And grandpa sounds like.
And then I get a boy. And then I get a boy. Like, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
Said, please ask your father.
No, he doesn't. He still asks me. And he literally told me because I'm smarter. I'm like, okay, I will take that as a compliment.
So you know what? I'll take the compliment, but you still need to go ask your dad. But you see what I'm saying, though. So, I mean, even if the only thing you can think of is, I know they like this store.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what's in there, but they like it. Gift card. That can still be thoughtful and meaningful. So the whole pick yourself something and I'll send you the money later, that's lazy.
Like, usually when I get a gift card, if it's for somebody like you or somebody, it's the intent behind it is to go out as a family.
Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, it was Texas Roadhouse for Christmas.
That my intent behind that was you guys to have a family time.
Food is my
and good food. It's not someplace we can just go at a drop of a hat. No. So I'm like, here. I thought that was an awesome gift. I knew you'd appreciate it.
Oh my God, loved it.
I knew you would.
Steak is my love language.
And like, it's just like, it doesn't take much to pay attention to your person.
No.
It doesn't. And that's me. And that's why I think, because I'm trying to do the dating thing, I really think that's actually a downfall for me because people don't care about that.
It really seems like people just don't think of each other anymore.
And I don't get that.
I don't know. But that might come back again to we were raised in the woods where you have to think about the people around you. What do they like? What do they want? What do they need?
I'm running out of people in the woods to date.
My brother has been available for a long time.
No, I love you.
I love you.
I will help your brother if I ever need to. No.
I love you, brother. I know you're going to beat me up, but I said what I said. He would too. But it's, again, a dude-ish thing. But yeah, this just screams laziness. It screams laziness.
Or just, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm a very caring person. You're a very caring person. And it may not be, like, we know when you get busy in a relationship, you guys are in the relationship living together, you forget things. You kind of go through it, every day.
A routine.
But every once in a while, you just need to make an effort. Hugging for me, like affection, is super important. And it's not big things. Touch of the hand, a hug, whatever. I'm easy.
Physical affection.
But it's like, why can't people do that?
It's like it doesn't have to be a full-on session.
Right.
But just hold my hand while we drive.
Do you know 9.5 years, I still had to ask to hold hands in public?
I would be giving him wet willies at every convenience.
I was so uncomfortable and felt so judged in that relationship. I couldn't even do that. It was so hard to be me.
I would give him wet willies, but I'm meaner than you.
You are. I will now. I have no problem doing that now. I've embraced my weirdness. I am happy with it.
This person makes a comment, and they do have a good point. Says, I mean, at least she offered to transfer money for your gift instead of just saying happy birthday and calling it a day.
That's true.
Yeah. But
she could have made more of a deal about it, though.
I mean, even if all you can think to do, you're so busy, all you can think to do, maybe the phrasing could have been different. Like, I am so sorry, I haven't been able to get to the store. Here's $50. Get yourself whatever you want.
But if it's happening on every holiday or every birthday, that still doesn't make it okay.
I mean, as a one-off, that's an okay thing.
Back to the gift card thing, you can get digital gift cards. You can get almost everything in digital gift cards now. She could have gotten a digital gift card and said, listen, I didn't get to go out, but I know you love this store. Please go treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how hard would that be?
Easy peasy. Another comment reads, not the asshole. This is lazy behavior on her part that results in both parties being upset. Your points are completely valid, and so are your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure why they don't consider putting in even the minimum effort that goes into buying someone a gift. Even my mother-in-law bought me a gift while we were out shopping, and I pointed out something I said I liked. She tried to sneak it into the cart, but I saw it. I mean, really. I mean, my mother-in-law, I love you to death, but I'm under no impression that she loved me near as much as her own children. I'm under no impressions of such. But that woman loved thrifting. Thrifting was her thing. And
have a lot of fun with that.
But, she was a nurse, a higher-up nurse.
Mm-hmm.
She made a lot more than me working in factories or as a CO or when I wasn't working being a stay-at-home mom. So, she took me to higher end thrift stores, and I'm in there going, I do not belong. But I saw it was this ugly bag. It was late that I loved it. It was giant. It was like this tall, like 2.5 feet tall, maybe 3 foot wide,
big duffel bag.
But it wasn't even like a duffel bag. It wasn't round. It had like the straight sides, like a giant tote, like a tote bag.
Okay.
You can tell how non-girly I am. It takes me that long to think of tote. But it was this god-awful gray, purple, plastic-looking fake leather. But I fell in love with this god-awful bag.
I love it.
And I wasn't watching her. And when we got to the car, she hands me this great big, god-awful purple gray tote bag. And I was like, oh, she doesn't hate me.
Right? See, that's me.
And that's all it takes. If you're out with somebody and they say, ooh, I like that, but they leave it sitting on the shelf, if it's not something ridiculous, like a Cartier watch or something, sneak the ugly purple tote into the bag.
Right?
I don't know how she got something that large.
It's really not hard to make people happy.
It's
most people. Now, if they're entitled, that's a different story. But
no, you will never make a Karen happy.
No. But I like
things like that. Just
care a little
take
bit.
10 seconds
to think 2 minutes
to think about not even 2 minutes, 10 seconds to think about the person you claim to love. It's really no more complex than that.
It's not.
Like when I got my boyfriend for Christmas, and I'll admit it again on recording. I'm admitting things and making confessions here. I had no idea what to get him for Christmas because my boyfriend travels for work, so he really tries to pack light. And I'm trying to think what's something that he could use or something that doesn't take a lot of space, something that's not going to be a pain in the butt. And we settled on that keychain. It's hanging on his keys.
Good. I love that.
Not everybody starts a relationship with "How question?"
But it's very funny to put on a gift later on. It really is.
And it's another thing, what's a goofy little moment you remember?
Yes, exactly.
My goofy ass, after way too many drinks at the 8-second in the smoking section, "How question? Can I keep this?" Apparently the answer was yes.
Yes.
But it's just something silly. A memory.
Exactly.
Memories are free.
Like that goes to the same thing when you're starting to talk to somebody. And and I don't say I'm not saying you have to talk every day the first month or so or whatever. But usually after a month going forward, you're wanting to talk pretty often.
Yeah.
Text, call, something.
Like, how is your day?
Nobody is too busy to not message you all day long or for days on end.
Everybody goes to the bathroom.
Everybody has, maybe not everybody has lunch, but they have breaks before bed, something.
I mean, I don't get lunch breaks. I just have to run by my desk and grab a bite.
But but you have a minute every once in a while.
Yeah.
It takes 10 seconds to send, I'm thinking of you, I'm busy, whatever.
Or a goofy little meme.
Yeah.
Just something to make them smile.
Exactly.
So, yeah, OP, you're not the asshole. And we're sorry your girlfriend's being a thunder cunt. And hopefully she comes around.
Hopefully she learns from that.
Yes.
5 years.
Taking someone you care about's feelings into consideration takes $0
Exactly.
and very little effort.
Very little. It's bare minimum, and I think everybody deserves more than bare minimum, to be honest.
Don't ever settle for the bare minimum. I did it for 13 years.
Me too.
The bar is set in hell. Satan wants to know why everybody's limboing through his turf. It's so not worth it. Don't settle for that nonsense.
I agree.
You deserve more than laziness. Moving along to a different brand of asshole.
Okay.
I saved this under the wrong heading, but we're going to go ahead and read it. So
Okay.
It's a surprise to me and you both.
Oh, perfect.
So we're going to move on to a different brand of asshole. It says, it's again from the subreddit AITAH. It says, am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my ex-wife's child who isn't mine after she cheated on me?
Context is very important here, in my opinion. But go on.
The context is she cheated. That's an affair, baby, and she wants him to babysit.
But has he raised this child, or is it a baby?
Let's read. My ex-wife, 33 female, and I, 35 male, were married for 5 years. A couple of years in, I found out she was cheating on me. It was a mess, but we divorced, and she ended up having a kid with the guy she cheated with. He's no longer in the picture, and she's now a struggling single mom. Recently, she reached out asking if I could babysit her son because she's overwhelmed and has no one else to help. I was honestly shocked she even asked. I told her, he's not my kid, and you're not my responsibility. Now she and some mutual friends are calling me heartless, saying I should have some compassion because I was once an important part of her life. I don't hate the kid, but I also don't feel like I owe her anything after what she did to me. Am I the asshole?
No, not the asshole. Here's my thought on that. He really didn't raise the child. They divorced. She had the baby. Okay, she's obviously going to him because she could trust him and he's a person that she can rely on. But he has no reason to agree to that. That is like somebody who off the street saying, hey, can you watch my kid? I don't know you. Or even if you do know them, I don't really like you. Why am I watching this kid? Okay. So no, he's not the asshole.
She betrayed his trust.
Mm-hmm.
She broke their vows. She left with this other man after he divorced her because he had every right to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating is a deal breaker.
Nobody really has the right. I mean, I guess they have the right, but there's no reason for them to be bad-mouthing him for that.
We're going to run right into the comments here. Says, tell the mutual friends to babysit the kid, not the asshole. If they think you're so heartless, they can do it.
Right?
It's like, if y'all are so concerned,
why aren't you watching the kid?
You do it, not the asshole. She hurt you, and it's her responsibility, not yours. OP responds, says, yes, I really have stopped caring at this point. It's her responsibility. She should have treated me better.
I agree. He is not in the wrong.
That's kind of one of those, how dare you?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The audacity,
The audacity abounds. You cheated on me and had a child with another man, and you have got the absolute brass balls to come to me and ask me to watch this child. And it's not the kid's fault.
No.
The kid's the one getting screwed in the whole situation.
But to me, it doesn't even sound like he really knows the kid all that well.
No, he doesn't know this child. And, I've got 2 absent baby dads. That is nobody's responsibility but mine.
And you've never, ever, even their actual dads wouldn't have asked them. But it's like, no, there's no reason whatsoever
the
to
only
ask
times I have ever asked anyone to watch my kids and handle my responsibilities was, if I had a doctor's appointment that I had to go to, or, when my house in Frankfurt flooded in the dead of winter and it was cold, I asked my mom if she would take my children until I could get us into a situation that was safe for my kids to be in.
Right.
And I busted my ass and had us in a new place in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I could take back over my responsibilities.
Exactly.
No, absolutely not. He owes her nothing.
There are no strings. None.
No. Another comment reads, you have no more obligation to babysit for her than you do any random stranger. Not the
Agreed.
asshole. Not the asshole. Those big-hearted friends of hers can babysit. You put it best. The audacity. How dare you?
It's laughable.
Like, how dare you?
If I was in that situation, I would have hung up while I was dying laughing because I would have thought it was a joke.
That's just
no.
The audacity is astounding because you have got to somewhere in the back of your head know this man loved you enough to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
And you stepped out and not only broke his heart, broke his trust.
Had a baby out of that.
And then had a baby with your affair partner.
He divorced you.
He left. He's done. You broke it. It's done. That's like throwing the plate on the ground and then telling it you're sorry.
And years later, come back around, listen, I don't have anybody to watch my kid. Can you watch them?
Sucks to suck.
Call it daycare.
I will say the cost of daycare in this country is more.
I've only found one local one that's decently priced, and honestly, they don't follow the rules, and they're almost always booked.
The lady that did our daycare when me and my brother were kids, she's retired now, but even she was almost $200 a week.
Yep.
And I was working at McDonald's at the time. There was no way.
Nope.
Without asking someone whose responsibility it wasn't to watch my kids.
The very little time I had my son in daycare, it was $80 a week, which was so low compared to everywhere.
That's amazing.
And I'm sure she's raised the prices, and I think she was helping me out. But small town, and you just can't find that. It's almost always $150 plus per kid a week. Nobody can afford that.
No one can afford that these days.
Can't afford to work and pay for that. You're just working to pay for it.
So no, this one I'm solid, not the asshole.
No.
She should not have done what she done. And I guarantee you her lady balls clank when she walks.
That's not even good ones, though. They probably sag.
That's an impressive amount of cojones to even have the audacity to ask.
I just can't believe it.
Oh, I can believe it. People are insane these days. We're going to jump off into the next story. This is the one I was telling you about.
Okay.
About the lady at the work thing.
Yes.
So this one is, again, from AITH. My favorite subreddit. I love it.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for calling an ambulance, which got my coworker fired?
Probably not, but let's see.
This got removed from AITA, so posting here. I, 27 female, was at a group work training for my job this past weekend. The company put a bunch of us up in a hotel and had us attending a day-long presentation about our goals for the next quarter. For context, we're in sales. It's highly competitive, and the group consisted of mostly older employees, with me being the youngest. After a day full of meetings, a few of us decided to get dinner at a restaurant down the street from the hotel. We carpooled, and when we arrived, one of the older ladies, Deb, 50s, was already there standing at the bar. We invited her to join us for food, but she declined, and we moved on with our night. I had 2 beers with dinner, so I'm not judging, but as we finished our meal, it became clear that Deborah was plastered. She was stumbling even though the ground was level and slurring pretty badly. As we left, Deborah came outside with us and reached for her keys. I immediately stopped her and said I'd drive her back to the hotel. She agreed, but as she went to grab the passenger door handle, she missed and fell straight back onto the pavement, hitting the back of her head. I don't mean to be gross, but it sounded like someone dropped a carton of eggs. I checked, and not only was she passed out, but she was bleeding from her head. Everyone panicked, and I grabbed my phone to call 911. One of the younger guys stopped me and said, "Help me get her in the car, and we'll get her room key out of her purse and just put her in bed." I was bewildered and said, "But she has a head injury. She's bleeding. What if she cracked her skull?" I'm no doctor, but if you go to sleep with a head injury, don't you not wake up? I'm pretty sure I learned that in school, and some of the other employees agreed with me. So I called the ambulance. Paramedics took Deborah to the hospital, and she survived, though she was in really bad shape when I checked on her the next day. Here's where I may be the asshole. Our managers found out Deborah was hospitalized for overdrinking while technically at a work function, and they fired her on the spot. Everyone also found out that I was the one who insisted on calling an ambulance. The older employees all said I did the right thing and that she could have died, but the younger ones are calling me a snake and saying I got her fired on purpose because she was competition. Am I the asshole?
Her intent was not because of competition. Her intent was good. So here's my thinking. One, yes, she should have called the ambulance because, well, you and me both, we are one of the last people to go to the hospital. We're probably going to be talking to the other person or knocking the other one out to take them to the hospital for any reason. Two, if you lose consciousness when you hit your head, that's a concussion. You have to go and get checked out. There could be internal bleeding, so many things.
You could be hemorrhaging. And I mean,
I know that. Even I know that. Well, even just bleeding. If I didn't lose consciousness, I wouldn't have went. But if I lost consciousness, I would go and get checked out. I wouldn't go by ambulance. I'd probably drive. But my point is, you need to go get checked out at the very least. Sounds like it was a pretty bad one, so she was in pretty rough shape the next day. You know, alcohol with concussions, not a good mix.
Alcohol's a blood test.
Two, I don't necessarily agree with her getting fired since it was technically after the actual work event, but I also see their standing that it was still at an after work event.
It was a company-funded function.
So
she was there on the company's dime.
So yes, but that's her actions. That's nobody else's actions. She didn't have to drink that much.
Yeah, I mean, the company didn't tell her to get shit-faced.
She could have went somewhere else on her own and done that too.
Mm-hmm.
And not, nobody would have even known about it. I mean, may not have ended well, but nobody else would have known about it.
Yeah, I mean, if she'd have gone just down the road to the local pub and fell in the parking lot and nobody saw her, she could have woke up dead.
But, on a high end, if she had went to the hotel and went to sleep, what if there was internal bleeding and she didn't wake up?
Mm-hmm.
These things consequences are so much worse than her losing her job.
You can get another job. You only get one existence.
Exactly.
So let's go see what the people in the comments think. Top comment was 6.9 thousand upvotes at the time I saved it. And this was actually one of the first stories I saved when we started talking about starting this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Says, not the asshole. She was in a life-threatening situation. You did what you should have done, regardless of what implications there are to the job.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if something happened because you didn't get help. Not the asshole in any way. You did the right thing. She can get another job. She can't get another life. Leaving her with a bleeding head wound would be unconscionable, and the younger ones should shut the fuck up and live in the real world where there are more important things than your job.
Mm-hmm. So back in the day, it's been a while. I don't know if this is still a thing. It might be. But if, teenagers were at a party, drinking, drugging, whatever,
mm-hmm.
and somebody falls and hits their head and they're unconscious, people wouldn't want to call an ambulance because everybody's going to get in trouble. They had a law that if you called an ambulance to get them help, you would not get in trouble for what was going on there.
Now, I don't know about that, but I know that failure to get someone medical attention in an emergency,
yes,
you can catch a charge for.
Yes, and that was still a thing. But they were trying to make it so people weren't so scared to call the law. And I get being worried, but I'd rather take the consequences of getting in trouble and trying to save somebody's life.
I would rather catch a drunken public charge and Deborah be alive to be mad at me for losing her job than put her in her hotel room, leave her to die.
Mm-hmm.
It don't sit right with me.
No, she did the right thing in every way possible. She did the right thing.
And close to what you're talking about is here in the comment section. Says people would have been fired if at a work event they witnessed someone knocked unconscious and then put them alone in their room to die.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably would have been charged. Here's a case where some frat brothers were charged after they moved an unconscious pledge who'd fallen down the stairs to a couch and left him.
Yeah.
Says, this commenter lives in central PA-ish, is what they say. And this case is still ongoing 10 roughly years later as they sort through all the legal issues. And exactly like in this case, if even one person had called 911, that young man will be alive today and his frat brothers would not be in jail. But they chose instead to dump him down some stairs and let him die. You did the right thing, OP. And I think I've actually heard of this case.
I think I have too.
Where they freaked out. He got drunk and fell. Nobody wanted to get in trouble. Probably some hazing going on because fraternities aren't notorious for that. They didn't want to get in trouble. So they just tucked him in on the couch and let him sleep it off, and he never woke back up.
Well, you know as well as I, we need to do what we need to do to protect people. People need to get their story straight, whatever. I don't care. Just make sure they're not in a dangerous situation.
Call 911. Get your story straight before the cops show up. And I mean, honestly, don't even bother with your story. Just get this guy some help. We're drunk. We fucked up. He's bleeding. Please help us.
Yeah, they're more likely to have leniency on you if you're honest in a situation like that. Like, you may get in a little bit of trouble, but it could be 6 months probation versus years.
It's the difference between a slap on the wrist because, now damn it, you know better, or
but thank you for saving this person.
Years in prison for involuntary manslaughter.
Exactly.
Involuntary.
That charge is way bigger.
You didn't mean to kill him, but you did. And that's a problem.
And you may not have been direct, in that, but you were or I don't know what they call it. But
a conspirator.
Yeah.
See, you're not the one that hit them in the head,
but you covered it up.
They got hit in the head, and you left them there bleeding. So, yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah,
Another comment says, if OP had left her there, it's a good chance she would have been dead in the morning. Not because of the old concussion sleep myth, which I need to do a little more study on because I don't know if it's a myth or not. I've always heard they go to sleep.
They've done away with that.
They really?
They did. It has nothing to do with going to sleep. It just has to do with if they have internal bleeding in their brain.
But because of possible bleeding, swelling in the brain, you can't see, and the possibility of alcohol making the bleeding worse and masking the pain.
I can guarantee she had internal bleeding. It may not have been bad enough for surgery, but she definitely needed the IV meds. She needed the care, the 24/7, round the clock. Alcohol is a blood thinner, and if you hit your head that hard, it's not good.
A million bad things could have happened. Head injuries often cause nausea. True story. She could have choked on her own vomit. She could have stumbled around the room and fallen again. I can't understand why anyone would criticize OP. It's absurd.
If she had not passed out, like if she did not get knocked out, I could understand maybe going with her and not leaving her alone. But being knocked out, that's a big thing you always want.
If you're knocked unconscious, you need to go get checked.
For however long, you always want to get checked out.
If they had dragged her back to the hotel, put her in bed, and she died overnight, they'd be fired and arrested. OP saved everyone's ass.
Yep, she did. Except that person who made the decisions that she did.
We have a comment from OP.
Ooh, yes, let's hear it.
It says, the same coworker who called me a snake and said to put her in bed, he went to the managers the same night and told them Deborah got drunk and fell. I found out about it the next day when I came in. Everyone was talking about it. So the guy that wanted to put her in the room and leave her for dead is the one that went and snitched and got Deborah fired.
And here's my thinking on that. He was trying to save his own skin. I'm not saying he was necessarily wrong. I wouldn't have done that personally.
I would have waited. Wanting to eliminate the competition.
They would have found out either way. They would have found out. And they would have asked everybody who was there. Because it was a big thing. They always check on those things. I've been to work events. They follow. There's enough people there, they follow. It would have been found out either way. So he was saving his own butt.
He did the run tell that.
Yep.
And then framed it as she did this to get her fired. But he's the one that went and ratted to the managers.
Now him
and got fired on the spot.
And him trying to turn around on OP, that shows what kind of a person he is. He is not supportive of anybody else but himself.
He is the one trying to eliminate the competition.
Yes.
Not OP.
Agreed. He is not somebody you want to trust.
Yeah. So, no, OP did all of the right things in that situation. All of the right things. So I'm going to skip ahead.
Okay.
And I'm going to skip that story and go to this one.
Why?
Because I want to save the one that's going to piss you off.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because I want to end it spicy because you've been feeding me whiskey.
Well, I've been having whiskey too. I don't get mean, but I do get spicy and bold.
Yes, we get spicy. So this next story comes from the subreddit Wedding Shaming.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, let's go.
There's a lot of there's a lot of fun in here. It says, bride's assistant emailed me saying my gift was due.
Excuse me?
What I said.
That would have been my response.
It's like,
excuse me?
I beg your finest pardon? A few years ago, I traveled across the country to a friend/colleague's beautiful/fancy wedding. Not super close friend, but always liked her. Between hotels and flights, probably cost me around $2,000. Worth it. Totally fun to be a part of her big day. About a year later, I received an email from the bride's assistant reminding me that they had not received a gift, and it was approaching a year. I guess it doesn't matter. You're always supposed to bring /buy a gift, and I hadn't. But they're multimillionaires, and I'm far from it. I was mortified and immediately sent a gift and never received a thank you. I never mentioned it. We slowly drifted apart, and surprise, surprise, they're getting a divorce now. That screams greedy bitch.
That screams she needs money and just wants monetary.
They're multi-millionaires. He doesn't need money.
So, one, again, could be our location and our morals. I do not expect a gift at my wedding. If you want to give one, I am so totally appreciative. But I'm also appreciative that you are there for me.
The gift
you are watching
my presence.
That you shake my hand, hug me, congratulate me, whatever. I don't care about gifts.
The gift of you being there on an important date in my life.
Yeah. And again, like the money thing, I know I don't want to expect people to pay that kind of money. I'd feel guilty if they spent $2,000 at my wedding. I would feel extremely guilty.
Yep.
And on top of that, gifts, if you expect them, are expected the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
You don't come back a year later. How gaudy is that? How cheesy is that? Like,
I mean, honestly, and I hate to be this way about it, but I'm going to do it anyway. That screams broke bitch.
Right.
You're a multimillionaire. Why are you behaving
unless they cut her
that way?
Something. We don't know the whole story.
Well, I mean, apparently they are, and they're getting a divorce.
But it's like, that's so ew. A year later, like it's bad enough if you, it's a poor taste if you ask at all.
You can't call your friend yourself, hey, I noticed this. Is there a reason? But you had your assistant send an email?
No. Just, who has a fucking assistant?
That's very, it's very Sex in the City. I love the movie, but
I never watched it, but I've heard it's very good. I need to watch it. But
makes me want to drink a Cosmo.
But I never had one of those either. But
they're good.
But I just don't. It's like, why? And my response would be like, I beg your pardon. Excuse.
It's like,
her wedding was
didn't realize there was a due date.
Well, even on top of that, if there was, it would have been the wedding day.
Yeah.
Not a year later. Whatever.
Jumping into the comments, shaking people down for a wedding gift is a bit, tacky.
Thank you.
I waited 20 years and they got divorced. I was a poor grad student. My cousin didn't even make it to the wedding. Broke up after the engagement party and she sold the gifts on eBay.
Yeah, that's...
Says, and that is why engagement parties aren't supposed to be gifting occasions.
Agreed.
Yes, I know the gift component is the norm in the New York area of the U.S., but it is against written etiquette.
Well, we're not in New York area. That's part of the problem. I will never live there. I'd love to see it, but I never want to live there.
I drove through one time when my ex-husband was driving a truck.
Mm-hmm.
We drove through the outskirts of the Bronx.
Mm-hmm. Rough area.
It was scary.
Yeah. I didn't go to the senior trip. I'd love to see it.
I didn't.
But I don't want to live there.
Did we even actually do a senior trip?
Yeah.
I thought we lost our senior trip.
Oh, we might have actually lost.
We lost our senior trip.
But
we're bad at it.
There was a senior trip. We just weren't allowed.
Mm.
Well, no, because it was junior year. So we would have been okay our senior year. It was junior year we lost. You didn't. I wasn't allowed to go to prom.
I didn't even know that there was a senior trip because I got told that we didn't get one.
They allowed the senior trip. They did not allow senior skip day, which everybody did it anyway. And
I didn't.
There was a couple other things.
Me and MS.
I don't think I did either.
You weren't there.
I was or wasn't?
Wasn't.
Oh, well,
on senior skip day, you were not there. Me and MS were the only two people in the teacher with the handlebar mustache.
You know, that's hilarious.
We were the only two people in his class. I looked at him. I was like, we're both losers, aren't we? He goes, yeah, pretty much. And he went back to doodling. Well, that answers that.
At least you had a free day.
No, we did not. That teacher did not believe in free days. And that is not me speaking ill of the dead. Outside of the classroom, he was a really cool guy. Do you remember the spirit days?
Yes.
That we always did?
He always did the spirit days.
Do you remember when they did dress-alike day where the teachers dressed like their favorite student and the students dressed like their favorite teachers? My brother dressed up as him. And he dressed up as my brother.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, I wish I seen that.
Oh, it was amazing.
I wish we had a picture of that.
Oh,
no, like I said, he was a cousin. It's distant, kind of, but cousin through his wife. And honestly, he really wasn't a bad guy. He was just one of those super book smart people. And you have to have a right mentality to get along with him.
He was book smart and people stupid.
Like, yeah. And we've known a few people like that.
I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No.
But he was book brilliant.
Brilliant man.
Full stupid.
He really should not have been teaching high school. He should have been teaching college.
He would have made an amazing college professor.
He would have.
But as a high school teacher, oh my God.
Yeah. He needed a little bit more mature kids.
Yeah.
But no, he really wasn't a bad guy.
He wasn't.
He really wasn't. And he was a great teacher, just not for I don't think high school was where he should have been.
High school was
I passed. I'm not gonna complain. But
I did not.
I got a B.
I had 3 classes a day.
Oh, see, I only had 1 class.
My senior year. I had him for first period study hall, which was a nightmare because I worked closing shift at McDonald's.
I had Squirrel Lady, if you know who I'm talking about.
Yes. He had that cowbell. If you fell asleep in his class, I stole that cowbell.
He did a DB a couple times.
He was ringing it over my head, and I snatched it, flung it across the room. I was like, look, I got off work at 1:30 this morning. My homework's all done. I'm going to sleep through this class so I can make the rest of the day. Keep that bell away from me. And then I had him for 7th period government and econ.
That's what I had him for.
And then I had him for last period physics.
I never took physics.
I didn't want to.
I refused.
They made me. Yeah, we spent entirely too much time together. And that's why he gifted me my D-, because too much togetherness was about.
It's because he liked your brother.
He loved my brother.
That's why he picked on you so much.
Him and my brother got along great. They dressed alike as each other for the. God, I wish I had a camera.
I wish you did too, because that'd be framed.
It was amazing. My brother had the suspenders and everything, and he even tried the thing with the end of his mustache.
Oh my God!
And the teacher had the flannel with cut off sleeves.
Oh, I would have loved to see that.
High school.
I don't remember it at all.
I don't miss high school.
I don't.
Just some of the moments from high school.
My senior year was great, but I was medicated for one. I had a much better senior year. Plus, I only spent half the day there. I did Twin Rivers, so I spent half the day doing that. And
I did.
But you know, my mom passed away in sophomore year, so sophomore and junior year were hell. And before that, it was just teenage angst.
So much.
I don't remember most of it, but
we wore a lot of black.
I do remember that. I had some different outfits. I did get compliments on them. I was told I should be a designer.
I took you to hang out with some of my out-of-town friends.
You did. I love that. I wish I did that more often.
I don't hang out with them anymore.
I know.
I had to sort my shit out when I became a mom, and I had to cut off some old ties.
Well, when people don't change their ways, you can't have it around your kids.
Nope.
You got to make a decision.
Some of them are doing better these days. Some of them are still completely fucktarded.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad.
He's doing a lot better these days. His dad passed away.
I think you told me that.
He inherited his dad's house.
Oh, wow.
So he's got a house out in the country. He still plays music.
Good. I liked him.
He still drinks, but a lot of the rest is gone by the wayside.
Yeah, well, as long as that, you know.
All good things.
We just have to grow as we get older. We have to more and mature.
Dad says you're only young once, but you can be immature forever.
This is true.
To a certain degree.
Okay, you can be immature forever. It doesn't mean you're going to have a happy life. You're going to have consequences.
I have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy, okay? I think farts are hilarious.
Well, I told you what my son did to me the other day. Crawling off the bed, puts his butt towards me, and farts in my face. I thought he needed help now.
I would gag and scream and laugh hysterically. But that's just who I am.
I was like, oh, why would you do that? He'd laugh and just walked away laughing. I'm like, oh my God.
I hope my boss never listens to this show.
I'm going to send it to him.
But yeah, we have one more story for today. I saved the most infuriating for last because I'm a peach like that.
Sure.
I am. I'm amazing.
Well, let's hear it.
This one comes from the subreddit, Am I Overreacting?
Probably, but let's go.
Oh, I think not. It says, Am I overreacting? My fiance says I need to lose weight. Fuck a dude named Dude.
Been there, done that.
Jump Street.
Going?
You're not overreacting. To hell with him.
No.
Says, my fiance 30 male and I, 31 female, are getting married in June. And he asked what my weight loss goals are. I said, why? Do you think I need to lose weight? And he responded, yeah, actually I do. You've gained 20 pounds since we started dating, and I think you need to lose it. I think about it all the time.
I have some things to tell you.
The angry inhale.
You're going to get mad when I tell you too.
For reference, we've been dating roughly 4 years, no kids, and I have put on about 15 pounds in that time. I'm now 150 and 5'4", which means she only weighs about 6 pounds more than me.
And you're not overweight at all.
Oh, God, no. I do a boxing class once a week, and I typically weight train 2 to 3 times a week, but I'm not super consistent. I'm definitely not overweight, but I can admit I'm not in peak shape. I have some cellulite on my legs and big arms. My waist is fairly small, so the weight tends to go to my arms and legs. I've been trying harder to lose weight, but it's not easy for me. I've never been tiny, but I've always been on the healthier side. I'm not in love with working out, and I've never been a gym rat or a runner or anything extreme. I just like to regularly be active and healthy, which is enough for me, but apparently not for my fiance, who is a gym rat and calorie counter. I'm also pretty healthy overall. I was plant-based for years and now eat some seafood and chicken, but mostly vegetables, not a ton of processed food. I take supplements every day and drink water. I never drink juice or pop or really anything else, aside from alcohol on the weekends, which I know doesn't help, but I'm social. I can understand him saying something if I were super unhealthy, but I really don't think I am. Maybe some weeks I don't make it to the gym, and I read a lot, so I may spend an entire Sunday on the couch, but I feel like that should be okay sometimes. I just don't know how I'll ever feel confident in front of him again. I can't imagine being intimate and not thinking about this, wondering if he thinks I look fat. If we weren't getting married, I honestly would probably break up with him, but everything is booked and paid for, and we have family coming from all over the country and Europe who have already booked tickets. Up until this point, we had a fantastic relationship, but I'm having a really hard time getting past this. I know some people would say, lose the weight, aka he's his weight. True. But I guess I'm more looking for advice on how to get over this and make him understand how rude and shallow and selfish saying that is. I was hoping he'd be the type of husband to love me in every phase of my life, no matter what. Am I overreacting?
No, throw the whole man away. But I'm a very communicative person.
It's amazing how great you'll feel when you drop 180 pounds of extra.
Right. And I am all about trying to work things through, but there are limits. Have a conversation with him. Okay? If you want to have a conversation with him, have a conversation with him. If he does not hear you out and change that comment specifically, throw him away. Because one, she's not overweight. She works out more than most people in the whole world.
She got me beat.
Two, she eats healthy. She's in shape for the most part. And actually, I think she's in shape completely. And it's like, no, muscle weighs more than fat too, on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm overweight. You know that. I have struggled with my weight my entire life. It's a family trait. I cannot lose weight. I have tried everything. The only way I don't lose weight is I don't eat, period. And
that's not healthy.
My first relationship, it was embarrassing. We were at a friend's house with there was a couple, and we were eating. It was a good home cooked meal. I hadn't ate all day. I was so excited.
Oh my God.
Fried taters. I can't remember what else, but the good home cooked stuff.
Mm.
And I went back for seconds.
The stuff that made you miss Mom?
Yeah. And I went back for seconds on taters. In front of everybody. He's like, are you sure you want seconds on that? You're trying to lose weight. PJ looked at me. She's like, excuse. Oh, I thought she was going to go off one.
Ooh,
and later on, she told me
didn't.
So she told me, essentially, I didn't like that comment. I'm like, I didn't either.
I'm surprised she did.
Ooh, buddy.
She can be a grade A firecracker when she gets pissed off.
Well, she was trying to respect me, I think. I kind of wish she would have. Somebody needed to put him in his place because it wasn't around me. I was, like I said, I was not comfortable. I felt judged.
Honestly.
That's why. He made comments like that all the time.
Honestly, though, in that respect, he's a lot like my ex-husband. Nobody would call him out on it. But if somebody did call him out on his nonsense when he pulled it in front of other people, it was 10 times worse for me when we got home.
It wouldn't have been like that. He really wasn't. I don't want to say he was abusive. He was neglectful.
He was an inconsiderate asshole.
That. And it's just, I don't know.
But don't expect how we expect them to learn to be better if no one ever calls them on how stupid they're being.
Like, there's one thing, being concerned about somebody's health. being supportive. There are ways to say that, ways to go about that. You don't do it in front of people.
That's not it.
Period.
Oh, God.
And as far as asking her to lose 20, 30 pounds before they get married, there's no reason to ask her that.
Okay.
And the way he said it on top of that, if he can't change that thinking, leave, because it's not going to get any better.
I don't care if you're marrying a Victoria's Secret model.
Nope.
She is not going to look like that forever.
Mm-mm.
Good looks will fade. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly, it's to the bone.
You love the person, not the body.
Bodies are going to change. Looks are going to fade. I come from a long, long, long line of pear-shaped women.
You ain't there.
I am waiting for the ass to expand. It's coming. I know it's coming. I have come to terms with this.
I was born chunky and with a hairy back. But
oh my God. But I know you crack jokes on it and everything, but it's just a number on the scale. You carry your size well.
And I have been.
You're not disproportionate. You're not like the chick that's suing Lyft right now. Have you seen her?
No.
Oh, we'll go into that when we're not on here.
Okay.
It's bad. You're not like that.
I'm active. I mean, I don't exercise regularly, but I'm active. I don't just sit around.
Yeah. So beautiful people come in all shapes and sizes. There is no one size that is
exactly
the definition of beauty. And I really, 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 really wish someone had told us that growing up.
In high school, maybe?
Yeah, definitely in high school. I do not know one woman on the face of this planet who loves every single thing about her body. Everybody has that one thing about them that they hate. And it's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
In the context of this story, she says that she's 5'4" and 150 pounds. I'm 5'4", and my son bought a scale. I'm 5'4" and 146. Yes.
You don't look, you're not overweight or anything, though. You're very healthy.
And I hate my tummy. I will never get my tummy back. That is what dual C-sections do. Your muscles are never the same once they've cut them in half twice. It is what it is. I've had to come to terms with it. Just let my jiggle. Everybody got a jiggly spot, and they hate it. Why would you point that out like that on someone you claim to love enough to marry?
If it bothers you that much, then that is not the relationship for you.
If you're that hung up on the physicality stuff, you're overlooking the beautiful person inside. And it is so shallow. It is so fucked up. And it makes me want to scream, OP, just tell me where he's at. Give me 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk.
And I've talked to gym buffs who calorie count. Not all of them are that way. No, it's not necessarily a cliche. Not all of them are that way. Because I've met some that like plus size women. Because I'm a plus size woman. I don't understand that. I don't. But they do. And
Some people don't want to cuddle with a bag of bones. Teddy bears are better.
I've been told I'm very comfortable to sleep on. But, sure. But it's like, it's a personality thing. And if they're not okay with that, then they need to move along.
I mean, this is going to come across horribly, but, once upon a time, I did love my ex-husband. I married him. I did love him.
We all.
And he was not a good-looking feller.
No, I'm sorry.
Facts are facts.
Neither was my second ex, so.
He weren't no George Clooney.
But that's not what we looked for.
But
we found them attractive because we loved them.
Because of the personality.
Or not, but yes.
I've got people that I'm sure would tell me that the guy I'm dating now is goofy looking. I don't care. I think he's fucking adorable. I do.
That's the important thing.
He's 6'3". He's kind of squishy, and I wouldn't change a bit of it.
No, I don't like this mentality either. He's not mature enough.
No.
Because if he was, he'd understand bodies change. He is not ready for marriage. He is not. What's the first thing that's going to happen when she pops a kid out?
She's going to gain weight.
And it ain't got. Most people, we know a few people, most people do not lose that baby weight.
We know that one chick who went back to being runway thin after all 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, I didn't even have, no.
If you are like this and you're listening, I apologize in advance. I'm not aiming this at you, but fuck her.
Well, there's reasons for that, but.
No. Straight up pure jealousy on my part. Fuck
I've known
her.
a few people like that. And it's just like, But the majority of us do not lose that baby fat. If anything, we gain more because, one, it changes our hormones.
Especially us C-section mamas.
I gained 150 pounds after my son. After the breastfeeding was done, because my hormones were so out of whack. My entire body changed. I have different reactions to medications. It's not something you can help.
And on the same track of that, not only, okay, you gain weight during pregnancy. That's just the natural progression of the entire process. But what happens if that baby, that beautiful little boy or little girl, isn't rail thin? Is he going to be mean to them too?
Mm-hmm. And that's
total
abuse. Issue.
That is abuse.
Yeah. Well, I grew up that way, not with my mom,
My husband did that to my son.
I have family members that ridiculed me about my weight since I was little. Told me I wasn't popular because I was overweight or whatever reason.
My ex-husband did that to my son, and to this day, again, I don't condone violence, but everybody looked the other way because my son, he is on the bigger side. He's built just like his biological father.
He's not.
He is built just like his biological father. And when he hit his growth spurt, he shot up. Everything leveled out to where it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't like that anymore. But the name calling and the running down that he did to my boy, like I said, everybody just turn and look the other way if you saw something. No, you didn't. It aggravates
them. It sticks with them.
That is emotional abuse. And I will die on this hill.
Well, the same person who did that to me growing up does it to my son, and he's come up to me. You've seen him. He's fine.
Your son is not overweight.
He came up to me saying he needs to go on a diet because she said so.
He is the perfect level of chunk for a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, he's not unhealthy. Well, his diet really does suck, but that's other issue.
Well, he's a picky eater, and we won't even do that on this episode. But most boys, I've noticed, they go sideways before they go upways, and then it all just goes where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's just part of growing. But I mean, if you're going to treat your wife this way, how are you going to treat your kids?
And not even wife.
Not even wife. Fiance.
Do not marry him.
Please don't breed with this man.
Do not marry him. Do not breed with him. Really think this through, because if he cannot change that perspective, he's not going to anytime soon.
The amount of time my ex-husband spent calling me fat. I weigh 145 pounds at 5'4". Yes, I've got a tummy. Yes, I've got cellulite and my booty jiggles a little bit. But you know what? That just makes dancing more fluid. It just makes things shake where they're supposed to. That's when was the last time you saw me dance?
Hold on, let me...
In the kitchen Thanksgiving.
I was going to say something else. I'm going to shun my comment. Sorry.
So let's jump into the comments and see how many of these people agree with us. The top comment with 2.1 thousand upvotes at the time I saved it. Are you aware of the sunk cost fallacy? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
This is something I actually had to do a thing on this in my college classes.
Really?
The sunk cost fallacy is when you have invested so much time in something. I was a victim of it with my ex-husband. I've put in so much time. I've put in so much effort. I can't give up now. I've got too much invested. Cut your losses. You're just going to keep sinking.
We've both been there.
That's what the sunk cost fallacy is. You're believing that you can't walk away from it because you've already invested so much. You absolutely can walk away. Walk away. You deserve better. It's kind of like in business. You're losing thousands of dollars a month. Business isn't picking up. Things aren't going the way they're supposed to be going.
You've done everything.
Shut the doors, cut your losses, and try something else. That is the sunk cost fallacy.
See, I learned that the second time around. 4.5 years. That's how I was for the last 2 years of it. I've put in so much of this. I want to keep going. I want to make this work. For whatever reason, it wasn't. But I got to a point, and I had said before, I will try so much. I will forgive so much. But when I'm done, I'm done.
There's another one that we studied when we were doing that chapter when I was taking my paralegal classes.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the halo effect.
Okay.
It's where something, even though it's hurting you, looks good. The example I used on my project we had to do on it was Charles Manson.
Okay.
He was absolute evil,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody thought he was just the best things to slice bread. So even Charles Manson was sexy. That was evil. Or they thought so back then. Different beauty standard. You know what I mean?
I could find guys in the 70s sexy. He's not one of them.
Those eyes. I couldn't get past those eyes.
He has crazy eyes.
Ugh.
Anytime I see someone with crazy eyes, it's swipe left. No.
Oh my God.
I can't do no.
No, that man's eyes just, they were soulless.
Yeah.
But the physical appearance, it drew you in. It looked angelic. Everything looked great.
They got so many people to follow.
But there was evil underneath. The halo effect. Some of this stuff's actually quite fascinating.
Kind of like the Kool-Aid man. They all sound great on the surface, but when it comes down to it, they're gonna bury you.
Say, are you going to drink the Kool-Aid? Because that cult didn't end well.
No, it did not.
Another good comment with 1,000 upvotes was the definition of the sunk cost fallacy. The phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they've invested heavily in it, even when it's clear that abandonment would be more beneficial.
But you have to know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Here's another comment that dives into what I was talking about with the kids. He does realize that if OP has kids, she's gonna get bigger. Will he be one of those guys that cheats with a gym girl while she's pregnant or postpartum?
Probably.
OP, you have a really serious and urgent conversation with your new man now. Tell him you don't feel confident proceeding with the wedding unless you can clear this up. And that you're embarrassed for him to see you naked after his comments. Talk about the children and what it does to your body. Is he prepared to stick by your side when you're nursing kids and can't go to the gym? I looked like a bush beast when I was postpartum. My husband was loving and attentive the whole time. I can't imagine going through that trauma and sleep deprivation with someone making me feel insecure about my body and our relationship. And that's facts.
I think both of us went through that, actually.
You can't groom it when you can't see it.
Half the time as a new mom, especially when the guys aren't helping, I don't even get a shower.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. I remember not taking a shower.
You don't brush your hair. And you just don't think about it because you're too busy. You sleep when the baby sleeps if you can. But you then have to clean and everything else. And
my son had colic.
Nobody
got to sleep.
Let me tell you, reflux and colic, same evil.
Thank the heavens above for my mom and stepdad, because Lord knows his bio dad wasn't waking up and doing the walk-in bounce.
Mm-mm.
We were. And I mean, until my son didn't go to sleep until after 5 a.m, screaming bloody murder all night long.
See, mine's problem was if he laid down, the reflux. I had to keep him in a somewhat upright position. Do you know how hard that is for a newborn?
Yeah, because I mean, all the safe sleep stuff, that was all new. Even we were first becoming moms.
They can't stay in the car seat. They can't stay in the bouncer. They have to be in a crib, and they can't have
and you can't let
whatever those are, bumpers.
You can't co-sleep with them. No blankets, no stuffed animals, none of this, none of that, none of this. And there's so much that they dump on you as a new mom. And then, like, your baby's got reflux and he can't lay flat. What are you supposed to do? The doctors are telling you he's going to die if you do this.
I end up co-sleeping, but most of the time, but no, I take that back. I just didn't sleep for 5 years. First 5 years of his life, I didn't sleep, which that was a whole other thing. I spent people sleeping.
I spent so much time, and I know that the doctors, I will forever be grateful for Dr. Duckwall, Damien's pediatrician, because she was an older woman. She knew all the new stuff and everything. She goes, look, I've raised a bunch of these things, and this works, and I promise they'll be okay. The only way I could get any sleep was if I propped up in the corner of the couch and I laid him on my left side of my chest with his head facing me so he wasn't all kinked up. He would sleep on my left boob and I would get to sleep. But that was it.
Yeah, I would stay
he slept on my chest. That was
I would stay in a chair, and upright he was on my chest, but he wasn't puking.
That was the only way either one of us got any rest. It was so rough.
It is. It's awful. Tummy time is great, but they can't sleep in tummy time.
No, they're not supposed to sleep in tummy time.
So,
and you're supposed to limit tummy time as a newborn. And there's so many things. I love, like, the no nonsense old school. You want the old fogey.
Yeah,
you want them.
You want the knowledge.
The doctor.
Knowledge is key.
That was my brother's baby doctor, because my brother was so sickly when he was a baby. Mom was asking, well, when do I put him on, baby food? When he don't get full on formula? Huh? Well, if he's hungry, feed him. Well, what about this? Okay.
See, my son,
No nonsense. The old school.
and see,
There's a lot of good new science,
yeah,
but we haven't survived as a species as long as we have because we're doing everything wrong.
we learn.
We've got to be doing something right. And every baby is different.
And like, we had a pediatrician when he was a baby. He was born small, premature. He was small. And he was gaining weight like a normal child. But the pediatrician we had said he should be gaining double the weight. And I'm not happy with this. And he made me so uncomfortable. I switched doctors, and the doctor said, yeah, we'd like for him to gain double the weight because he was so small, but that's not feasible. Like, that's not something we should expect. He's gaining weight like a normal baby. He's fine. He's healthy.
Yeah. As long as they're healthy, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Rolling back into the comments, there's another one here that says, just because everything is booked doesn't mean you have to go through with the wedding. This has clearly unsettled you. You can still have a party and a holiday regardless. If everything wasn't booked, what would you do? Bye.
Everything being booked should not come into account for that.
OP said, if everything wasn't booked, I'd leave. Do not let the loss of money put you in a situation where you tolerate that level of disrespect.
Take the hit, offer to pay half of it, whatever, but do not stay in that relationship.
No.
It's not going to change his perspective.
If you lose your deposits, you lose your deposits. Lesson learned, money can be remade.
Exactly.
Don't settle for that.
No.
Next comment says, yep, it's easier to end an engagement than a marriage.
It is.
Facts.
So true.
Another comment in the big yellow box with 833 upvotes. My biggest concern is that he says he thinks about it all the time. This is not normal, healthy, or mature. He's controlling and demanding, and this is just the beginning. I'd seriously think about canceling this wedding.
If he thinks about it all the time, obviously it's a big thing for him.
No.
And if no.
When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I've made that mistake. That's
going to end up a very toxic, unhappy relationship for her.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to end up stepping out. I can guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so just
messed up.
Wow. So this comment says, I'd rather be out thousands of dollars than legally tied to a disrespectful man.
Yes.
Point blank. Period.
Amen.
End of discussion.
Well, you see what I did. Well, you did too. We all did it.
I say for 13 years to somebody who just didn't respect or value me as a human being. Don't do it, OP. It's not worth it.
Mine was split between two, 9.5 the first one, 4.5 the second one.
So we both averaged right about 13 years of just nonsense. Well, I will love you forever, regardless of everything.
I will love you too. It's because we already know too much.
So you can't go anywhere you know too much.
You're stuck.
This one's in all shouty capitals. Do not marry him. It will only get worse.
Amen.
Facts. Another one in the yellow box. Favorite comment. You can lose a lot of weight very quickly by dumping this motherfucker.
Exactly. And being so much happier.
You're not good enough as you are, and I think about it all the time. I feel like that says it all right there.
It really does.
That's it. Another comment reads, so he'll play along and consider cheating at some point. He'll be thinking about it all the time. Not husband material.
No.
Simple as that.
No, he's not ready for that.
Yeah, you do need to lose weight. However much he weighs, get rid of him. There, weight gone.
Yep, perfect
No,
response.
I can't.
I will never be there again.
No.
If I'm uncomfortable, I'm not staying.
And that's one of those things like we talked about before. Just take the hit. It's a lesson learned. We've been here. We've done this. We've taken the hard knocks. And I know all y'all out there in internet land are very possibly going to be just like us, and you're not going to listen, and you're going to learn the hard way just like we did. It is a brutal, painful experience to be with somebody who you know is going to continuously treat you like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to get out of, and the more time it'll affect you in the future. Healing is a journey, not a sprint. It's a marathon.
And you're going to feel stuck, but you're never completely stuck.
No, you're not stuck.
There's people, foundations, there's people, just people in general.
There's
I mean, me and you both would help somebody in that same situation.
I'm willing to bet millions of women the world over
Mm-hmm.
who share a lot of the same stories.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't wear that. No, you can't go there. No, you can't hang out with them. What do you mean you had a conversation with your best friend?
Or you weren't giving me enough, or I thought you didn't love me,
Or the girl down the street so much better. I can't believe I'm going to put that
I wanted to know what other ones felt like.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed them. They're all yours.
All right.
You do you, boo-boo. But I think that's a good spot to stop. And if you are in a situation like this, there's resources, there's people. Like we've stated before, in a small town, the resources aren't exactly the quality you might find in a larger city, but your neighbors, the old woman down the street who has probably beat her husband of 50 years into submission with the great equalizer, also known as the cast iron skillet she was gifted by her great Grammy at her wedding, they can and will help. If you're in a bad situation, call 211. There's women's shelters. There's all of these things. You can get out. You deserve better, and you will find better.
And with all the social media, there are pages, there are platforms, there are support groups.
There's groups.
Find somewhere to ask a question.
There's places where you can. I had to sneak to do therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sneak it. And she was so cool because I told her what the situation was. I wasn't allowed to go to therapy. So we did my video sessions in the car as I was driving home from work. Just quick sessions.
Mm-hmm.
She helped me sneak to get the help I needed around the abuse I was going through. So don't give up. Feel free to reach out to us in the comments. We're more than happy to Google resources, email them out, whatever. And we will end the heavy here, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.